So this is my main army for Battle for Sephai full-scale war. The faction is the Federated States of Humanity, and they're basically the all-rounder faction. They've got good armor, good infantry, good flyers and so on, good mechs. They're jack of all trades, master of none kind of faction. I'll just talk you through the different units. This is a small-scale battle, about 8 different units, some of which are at minimum size. Medium scale will be about 10 units, with about an extra tank or infantry stand per unit. And a large battle will be about 12 units at full scale. You can even go more than that if you want to, but yeah, the engine kind of gets a bit hard to run at larger scales. I'll just talk you through different units. This is a broadsword 2 squadron, main battle tanks, good against armor, good against infantry, all rounders as they them to be, quite expensive per vehicle. A Shadow Rain missile tank squadron. These guys are artillery. They fire multiple shots, and their strength is kind of middling, so they can take out armor, but they'll struggle. But they've got indirect fire capability, so they're very useful. They're kind of all-rounders. I've got a Jotun medium mech. This thing is just, because I like it, it looks really cool. Mechs in Battle for Sephai are generally worth 1.5 tanks. So let's say if a tank is 100 points, a mech will be 150. They're taller, so they've got good line of sight. Also means they can get shot more easily. But yeah, mechs are good. But tanks are also good in this game. So I thought this one just for show, really. I like mechs. This is a Cloud Spear anti-air missile squad. So you can use your AA weapons against ground units as well. And Cloud Spears are good against armor. But their main purpose is shooting down aircraft. Because I don't have much air cover in this army. So they're quite useful for that. Then I've got a pair of Panzer Drakes. These are tank destroyers. They've got lasers, which are, I think they're sniper weapons, is the name of the special rule. But basically, you can't move and shoot with them. So they're very accurate and very powerful, but they have the downsides of they can't move and shoot, whereas main battle tanks can. So you've got to be clever with your positioning of things like tank destroyers and such. Then we've got some mechanized infantry. So I've got 2 squads of 2 Warhorse light tanks, and these guys are quite tough for light tanks. And they've got link cannons which are decent, like kind of mid-range. They can deal with infantry or armor, but they're not that good against armor basically. But Warhorses, they've got transport capacity. So these 2 are carrying 2 anti-tank squads. And these guys are carrying 2 basically anti-infantry squads. They're called compound projectile drivers. They're basically like heavy machine guns. So Warhorses, they're quite fast. They've got high initiative, and so they'll be activating earlier. I'll explain that in a second. They're not too expensive, and they can carry troops as well, so they're really versatile. But obviously, they cannot stand up against main battle tanks or tank destroyers. They're more like kind of sneak round the flanks and cause damage. And then finally, I've got a dropship with 5 stands of armored assault infantry. So these guys are for capturing objectives. You want to land on an objective and hold it. Armored assault infantry, so they're a bit more armored than regular infantry, but have no pretension in this game. Infantry armor does not count for much when you've got like missile launchers and lasers everywhere. So yeah, even armored infantry are good against small arms and stuff like that, and very low strength weapons. They will not stand up against, link cannons or missile launchers and stuff like that. I'll just talk you through infantry quickly, because I've made them quite unique for this game. So infantry have 2 hits each, and they start with 2 attacks each. When the infantry take a hit, they go down to half effectiveness for shooting, which isn't the same for other units. However, with infantry, they can only ever take 1 damage per hit. So if you get hit by like a laser blast of tank destroyer, will do multiple damage to a tank, but can only ever do 1 damage against infantry. So infantry have basically got this built-in protection against high damage weapons. So the best way to do it for infantry is with multiple low strength attacks or kind of mid strength attacks, such as the Shadow Rains, which I think they're strength 6, and these infantry are armor 1. So in Battle for Sephai, you just do strength minus armor, so basically winning on 5 down. 6 minus 1 is 5. So like against infantry, you can shred them up with missile launchers or multiple shot weapons. Whereas you can still take them out with a big old laser destroyer, but you're basically wasting points on, all the points you paid for strength, and doing multiple damage is wasted against infantry. And your flyers are basically very hard to hit unless you've got anti-air. So, or things like fighters, interceptors, and those kinds of things. So flyers, their main defense is being hard to hit and their speed. And finally, I just want to talk you through how activation works in Battle for Sephai. So basically, every unit has an initiative value. Normally, the lighter units like recon buggies and flyers and stuff have higher initiative. And things like anti-aircraft weapons who've got good sensors, they've also got high initiative. So basically, whoever has the highest initiative unit activates first, then you alternate. So if I've got an initiative 10 unit, I'll activate one, then the enemy will activate 110, then you go down to initiative 9, and you keep alternating like that until you get all the way down to initiative 1, which is like super heavy mechs and stuff that are really slow, or really undisciplined troops and such. So high initiative units get to activate first. So these light tanks, their armor isn't great, their attacking isn't great. However, they're faster. They'll activate before main battle tanks. So even lighter units, you can make them more survivable by shooting and running or hiding and such like that. When you activate, you get 2 actions. So they're basically move and shoot. So you can move twice, you can move and shoot, you can shoot and move, or you can double shoot. So let's say again you activate your Warhorse light tanks, you can shoot the enemy then run off. So that's why high initiative units are generally quite good. But of course, every model in this game pays for its abilities. So your high initiative units are paying extra points for their initiative. So it's kind of a play between high initiative and then lower initiative but better armor kind of units. And flyers will, I think, always go first base level with initiative 10. So they can get the drop on your enemies. But that's the general gist of Battle for Sephai. This is a small scale. I call it a Lancer company, and it's great fun. If you want to up the scale, you just add more tanks to units. As a final note, in Battle for Sephai, the downside of the initiative system, whilst it is really good, I think, the downside of it is it can be a bit fiddly. You've got to remember who's initiative, 10, 9, 8, etc. So generally, for bigger battles, what I do is larger units. I wouldn't fill the battlefield with loads and loads of little small units because that'd be quite fiddly. So when scaling up, I recommend that these guys, I scale them up to 4 tanks and 4 infantry, rather than having another type of tank, another type of infantry, blah blah blah. You know what I mean? I would generally keep it a bit simpler. But that, if you don't mind fiddliness, that's fine. But this is Federated States of Humanity, Lancer Company. And it's looking cool.